Okay, so you read the title, you know it's coming, so let's just get right into it. I just got back from watching My Little Pony's Equestria Girls. Yeah, up until a couple hours ago, I just thought of myself as any regular old casual fan of the series, but after going into a movie theater where the majority of the audience was little children and their parents, I think I can now officially call myself a full-fledged brony. And you know what? I'm not all that ashamed. Yeah, I actually feel pretty good now. I mean, aside from all the kids and parents there were also a lot of bronies and pagan sisters there who made me feel like I wasn't just the only one there. Heck, there was actually this one girl who came in a Fluttershy cosplay. I mean, full on with the wings and everything. I just wish I had to get a picture for you guys. As a consolation though, here's this guy. I'll let that haunt your nightmares for a few weeks. That is, unless you're a Yozara fan. So yeah, even though I didn't know any of them, I actually had a fun time just being there and chatting it up with them. Did I actually enjoy the movie? Yeah. Let me just say this. It could have been a lot worse, but it really should have been a lot better too, I think. Okay, before I summarize this movie, I should point out that this movie takes place immediately after the third season finale. So if you haven't seen the third season finale, please skip ahead to the time above my head. Okay? So, the story takes place after Twilight Sparkle has become an Alicorn princess. She and her friends are now traveling to the Crystal Kingdom in order to go to this summit where all the princes are gathering to discuss something or another. Yeah, they don't actually say what they're going to discuss during the course of the movie, I think. The reason for this being because the summit ends up getting interrupted when Mysterious Pony tries to steal Twilight's element of harmony and ends up sending it to a parallel world. Following the thief in her element, she ends up in our world, the human world, and when she gets there, she ends up turning into a human herself. And now she actually has to win back her crown because it's been mistaken as the crown for a prom queen at a local high school. Now, if that sounds like a very almost cheesy and predictable storyline, that's only because it is. So, let me first get through the positives. First, Twilight's story arc in this movie is actually quite good. Without giving too much away, at the end of the third season, Twilight now has found herself in a much greater position of power and will likely become the leader of many other ponies. She herself doesn't feel like she's ready for the responsibility, but through the course of this movie, she learns what it takes to become a great leader. And you know what? That's a great moral. It shows what true leadership is, and it's pretty inspiring, actually. Secondly, as you probably guessed, Pinkie Pie is great in this movie. She just abuses her fourth wall breaking abilities in this movie, and it is hilarious and really just awesome at times. So I'll let you see it for yourself if you're going to see it. And even though a lot of bronies have been complaining about the human designs, overall I kind of like them. There were a few bad ones, like Big Macintosh's design not matching up with his voice at all. But that aside, I actually like the designs of the main six, so yeah, I actually like the look of this movie despite what others may say. That said, pretty much everything else that the bronies were worried about came true. Most notably, the villain in this movie sucks. You see, the thief who stole Twilight's element in this world apparently is, oh boy, a high school alpha bitch. Yeah, very stereotypic one at that. You know, unless we're talking about the bitches from Carrie, I'm not interested. She's constantly just going to her little dark corner over there and plotting, going, yeah, it's not even laughably bad in how transparently evil this stupid villain is. Oh god. Oh, and if you're wondering why they don't show what happens to her after she puts on Twilight's element in the trailer, yeah, you see, she kind of transforms into this monster, and it is incredibly stupid looking. Oh god. I mean, you know, I'm willing to bet that the producers purposely didn't show it in the trailer, not because they wanted to keep it a surprise, but rather because they're ashamed of how it turned out. I mean, I'd be embarrassed of how stupid that... Oh, God. Ugh. Yeah. So the villain sucks. The setting itself, yeah, here's the thing. The setting was actually set up by Sunset, and she actually went out of her way to turn it into the most stereotypical high school setting ever by separating everyone into their little social groups, you know, the geeks, the jocks, the popular kids, yeah. It's just such a typical high school thing. It's not that all that interesting. I mean, when the girls actually break out into a song number, I actually wanted to enjoy the song, but as I was looking around at the setting, all I was getting were images of freaking High School Musical. I should not have to get images of High School Musical in a My Little Pony movie because I actually like the songs in that show. I mean, wow. Just wow. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Sunny's lackeys in this movie, it's these two bastards. Oh, how I wish Trixie would just take them and turn her into her slaves again. Oh, by the way, Trixie is in this movie. Yeah, a lot of the popular background and one-shot ponies are actually in this movie, and it does feel like the producers were actually providing a lot of great fan service for the bronies. So on that part, it's actually a great movie. Though, even the great and powerful Trixie can't save the rest of this movie, unfortunately. Yeah, the biggest problem with this movie is that it does not feel like a My Little Pony movie overall. It feels more like a high school movie that really fulfills a lot of the cliches of those sorts of movies. I mean, if you want to see a good high school movie, I could recommend something like this, but otherwise it's not all that great overall, actually. Yeah, but still, I had a fun time being able to hang out with a few bronies and Pegasisters and kind of riff on this movie. Also, as I said, the fan service is great. Pinkie Pie is probably one of the main things that makes this watchable, at least. And of course, there's a lot of great Easter eggs here and there. In fact, there's a great Easter egg during the credits, which I would recommend you check out because I was clapping when I saw it. So see it with a group of bronies. But for God's sakes, do not take a guy who has never seen this series before, because even if you were willing to spoil the season 3 finale, this is not a good introduction to the series for them. So overall, it's a fairly harmless movie overall, but I'd say if it comes to your town, watch it if you have the free time, but otherwise, don't worry. It's probably not even going to be mentioned in the 4th season unless they make a episode that directly references it. So yeah, those are my 2 cents on Equestria Girls. Next time I'll go into great detail about how I began this road into Bronyhood, but into becoming a brony. But until then, this is the Ad-Man giving my hats off to you guys. Until next time.